Welcome to VHS Voyage, where we're on a journey to find, watch, and discuss movies on VHS we've never seen or never knew existed. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
Today's episode, we're going to talk about
Out Cold.
All right, now before we start talking about Out Cold, I do want to give a quick shout out to Marello from GameCube Galaxy because he recommended the movie for better or for worse. And Marello, I apologize in advance for my opinions on this one. Before we start talking about the movie, Devin, hit us with some facts and information.
This is directed by some duo named the Malloys. This stars Jason London, Zach Galifianakis, Flex Alexander, Derek Hamilton, AJ Cook, Lee Majors, and some other people. This movie might have one of the most drastic audience to critic scores. It has an 8% critic score with an 84% audience score.
On Rotten Tomatoes?
That's such a huge...
That is huge. I usually like early 2000s comedies and late 90s comedies and things like that. Like Dirty Work, for example, that we did recently. Really enjoy that movie. And I also usually like juvenile humor, but I like juvenile humor that's still funny. This movie feels like it's juvenile humor that would only be funny to a actual teenager.
I literally put that in my notes.
Yeah.
I was like, if I was 14, maybe I probably would have thought this was funny.
Right. And, the movie wasn't god awful. It wasn't terrible.
It wasn't hard to get through. It was still watchable.
Yeah, it was watchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't funny.
Yeah, it is very early 2000s, like you said, though. It's like...
Dude, so early 2000s.
Dude,
the music.
It reminded me of movies like Road Trip or American Pie, things like that. Very juvenile humor, not as funny as those movies though. Also, the soundtrack was Sum 41, Foo Fighters, and of course, throughout the whole movie, over and over, they play "Island in the Sun" by Weezer. They play this song 40 times in the movie.
Out Cold takes place in a ski resort on a mountain called Bull Mountain in Alaska. It's like a real laid-back ski resort for the employees. They have a good time. They party a lot. You know what I mean? They goof off a lot while running the ski resort. They don't really take it too seriously. They just have a lot of fun and stuff. But the owner decides that he wants to sell the mountain, and a prospective buyer comes in. John Majors. His name was John Majors, the prospective buyer. And he comes to town and he starts setting new rules and stuff and getting prepared because his investors are going to be coming and he's not going to be able to buy it if he can't get his investors on board, right? So he's telling the employees you guys got to get ready for this when the investors come. Got to take it seriously. And the movie kind of primarily centers around a character named Rick, who is an employee at the ski resort. I mean, really the movie is just about... Here's one thing I didn't like about this movie, Devin. There's not really any conflict until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't set up the conflict good at all.
No. Basically, the dude, they're just trying to stop the billionaire asshole from changing everything about their ski resort.
But they don't even come to the realization that they want to stop him until
15 minutes left in the movie, probably something like that.
Yeah. So that was a little weird from a writing standpoint, because usually you want to set up the conflict a lot earlier in the movie, right? Even in a comedy, right? And there's some romantic stuff throughout the movie, like a little love triangle thing between Rick and a couple other people.
Yeah, paraplegic.
Yeah, he was a paraplegic, wasn't he?
Not that's bad.
No.
You laughed.
Yeah, I'm having second thoughts about kicking this guy's ass.
This movie just wasn't funny, man.
It wasn't funny.
So let me talk about some of the scenes in the movie that were supposed to be funny, right? So they go party, they get drunk, and Zach Galifianakis, dude, I can never say his last name. Help me out here.
Galifianakis.
Yeah,
that's right.
His character passes out drunk, and they strand him in the woods in the snow, take his pants down, put something in his crotch. He wakes up the next day with a polar bear licking at his crotch, dude.
A polar bear was licking his balls, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, ow!
There's running jokes throughout the movie where Zach Galifianakis passes out drunk and they do things to him.
At first you don't know it's a dream, but then you really quickly realize it's a dream. He's there's a group of bikini clad women stranded in the ski lift trolley thing, and he jumps off a helicopter onto the top of the mountain on a snowboard, goes off a cliff, parachutes onto the trolley, goes in there, and he's like, okay, in order to save you, I need you to take your tops off so we can tie them together and make a rope.
Yeah, again, it felt like it was written by a 14-year-old.
I need everybody to be calm and take your tops off. and tie them together.
A man gets his wiener stuck in a jacuzzi. So I'm gonna stick my thing in this jacuzzi jet, but then he puts it on like drain, so it drains and pulls him in there, and he gets frozen in it overnight. And they find him frozen inside of the jacuzzi the next day.
Hey. Oh my God.
You know, there was one I didn't dislike where they put him in the car and they act like the car's wrecking and they're like spinning.
Oh, yeah.
That one wasn't completely not unfunny. Because the woman is married to a poor going to be getting married to a poor paraplegic
Cheated
man.
on him for 3 weeks.
Cheated on him for 3 weeks. Cheats on him again.
Yep.
Is like, I want to be with you, Ricky Walker, or whatever your name is. And then she's like, I want to be with the poor man in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
She kind of sucks, dude. And then Rick is like the one girl that's actually super nice to him and cool. He's like, I'm going to blow her off.
Dude.
And then at the end, they're like, oh no, let's be together.
Yeah.
They all kind of suck.
Yeah.
None of those relationships worked out. That man in the wheelchair left her after a few months. The dumb character back then in all the movies would always pull the hot chick.
Yeah.
And then the bad guy of the movie gets locked in a porta potty and thrown in a tree.
He wasn't really a bad guy.
No,
though,
not
dude.
really.
He wasn't a villain at all. He was just a businessman.
He was a businessman that wanted to make a lot of money, and for him being a bad guy was because he was going to fire all these employees. But they were shitty employees. They were shitty young people, like 20-year-olds that were alcoholics.
So it's like this dude wasn't even really a villain. He was just a businessman.
Yeah,
trying to finish his business.
I mean, if I was 14, I probably would have thought it was funny because I would have been like, boobs,
right?
Wiener stuck in a jacuzzi,
right?
Alcohol, but now I'm just like, okay.
And again, it's not like a terrible movie.
No,
it was watchable. I wasn't sitting there like unbearable watching it. Right,
that's true. I wasn't bored or anything.
Yeah.
Because the snowboarding is fun. It's like Actually, you know what? I'm going to go into the psychology of Marcello. I'm going to tell you why Marcello likes this movie.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Marcello grew up in New York City.
He did.
He's in New York City. He wants to get out of the city. He wants to go live life. So he sees these kids snowboarding. He's like, I want to go do that.
Yeah.
I want to get out of the city. And Marcello was a big fan of SSX.
Yeah.
So
he loved snowboarding games, dude.
So he would watch this movie and he was like, oh, this is like SSX the movie. And he's like, I got to get out of this city and I'm going to go be a professional snowboarder.
Dude, that's actually a great, Marcello, you'll have to let us know in the comments if Devin's theory is right. I think that's actually a really good theory. Out Cold is going to be a giveaway. And if you want to enter that giveaway, go on vhs.voyage on Instagram. You will have 1 to 2 weeks from the day the giveaway goes live to enter. I believe that's it for tonight's episode of VHS Voyage on Out Cold. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
And we'll see you guys next week.